make sure everything is good. Ooh.
I like how the playoffs aren't even over and there's already like crazy off-season drama.
I mean, isn't that always going to be the case at this point?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess like I just expected them to like wait until after playoffs at least to start doing stuff.
I feel like that's almost never. I mean, well, okay. Typically, it waits at least a little bit closer to the end of Worlds.
Yeah.
It's obviously happening, but it's usually not public.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I mean.
I mean, to at least to speak his credit, he's getting his name out there as early as humanly possible.
This is true, and he was one of the brighter spots on ESN this split, I think.
I mean, were there many bright spots?
Former MVP, he's got the pedigree, right?
But he's not Solo the bounty hunter. The mercenary himself.
Question separate, because this is not part of the show notes. Do you think Solo ends up on a team next year?
Yeah,
he should.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
He might.
he will.
I don't think there's a chance. I don't think.
He'll be
I don't
called
think
on
it
as an
happens.
emergency sub, like how TSM did.
Sure, I'll give it that, but I don't
He'll
see
be the mid-split rotation.
Exactly.
He'll be the Jensen of next year. Come on, take a team to Worlds, collect his
Save us,
paycheck.
Solo.
The old Batman meme. What did you do? I got him to Worlds and then dip.
Yeah.
And just cape
Just
out.
gone after that. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, welcome. I have 3 very special guests with me today. We have the Hunter Talk guys, the C9 Body guys, and the Live Evil Podcast guys. If you are unfamiliar somehow, but given that I'd imagine most people in the chat probably know League of Legends, these are the individual fan casts for each of the LCS teams. For 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, and Cloud9. I ceremoniously wore my Optic jersey because one day, Papa Hex, can you please allow me to be in this conversation rather than moderating it? Thank you. That aside, gentlemen, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
What a pleasure to be viewing the apartment where it all goes down on TikTok.
It's New York City. Everything is right in front of you. You pay for what you get.
Yeah.
You pay way more than you should, but it's there.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched presidential debates, political debates in general. Are you familiar with debate structure?
I believe that's when you just yell over everybody as soon as you want to say something, right?
When does the
Basically.
punching start?
I wonder if we just ignore the moderator and just keep going. Is that how it? Because that's my.
Usually how it goes. Right?
Yep, I'm here to facilitate. That is it. And sit by passively while you guys just beat up on each other. That's fine by me. So
We'll get to ignoring you right away.
So I will have some questions that I'm going to direct to one person specifically to start off, and then it will open up to the crowd after a response has been given. Feel free to bust as many balls as you want. There's no filter involved in this other than your own. And I will start off with the easiest question of the group. They probably knew this was coming, but we'll start with the most recent LCS champions and Evil Geniuses. Can you convince me to buy a Worlds jersey and tell me why you have the best one?
There's your answer. No.
So Ichi touch some grass. I don't know. Our Discord is like all burning and whatnot. We don't know how it got passed through. Yeah, you can hear my son. That's not happy about that either. I can't convince anyone of anything looking at that jersey. I still think it's April Fool's, even though we're in September.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there any Ben 10 fans in the chat? Maybe they want to pick up that jersey, you know?
There's going to be one Seattle Seahawk fan in the chat that's like, I'm the 12th man on this. What do you mean? I'm happy.
Yeah. Actually, this is kind of a 200 IQ move if you really think about it, because, just think how 100 Thieves would feel if they lost to EG wearing those jerseys.
And they made the shirts.
They brought the Walmart joints to State Farm Arena or whatever it's called. They're bringing them to Chicago, and they're gonna bounce you out of the LCS playoffs wearing that. Genius move. Genius move.
Truly
If it
living
works.
evil.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. That's ratcheting up the pressure. I don't know. It's risky. You're not going to sell one, but you know, at least as a championship tactic, it might have some validity to it.
I mean, I like that angle. It's risky. That's how we play, and that's how we live life. Risk. So maybe if we take the first place in LCS again, you all have to wear one.
Jeez.
I'd be willing to take that bet. If EG wins the split again, I'll wear it at Worlds. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll commit to that. I can commit to that challenge. I will suck it up and buy one of those monstrosities if you're able to win the LCS title, and I'll post it on Twitter too. I don't even care.
We got our first bet, and I will be part of it. Yeah, I just have to add it to my collection.
That's crazy though when you think about it. It's like the fan podcast for EG has to be betted into
Buying their own
buying their own
merchandise.
jersey, man. That's how you know you got a problem.
100 Thieves could never.
No, we would never. We would never. Hey, look, our record's not 100% flawless, all right? But that never would have gotten out of the idea room. I don't even think it would enter the idea room, to be honest.
Whoever brings it into the idea room is fired immediately.
How you feeling about your chances of having the best Worlds jersey, C9?
I think. Did they reveal the Cloud9 Worlds jerseys? I don't
Not
think I
yet.
ever saw
No.
the picture.
It
Yeah,
likely.
that's why your chances are still technically a lot. Technically.
hypothetical, the
Cloud9
hypothetical.
usually designs some really good merch, so I think it'll look pretty good.
I mean, I look at it this way. You got a 50-50 shot at this. You're either going to be better than 100 Thieves, who have the red and white covered. I will give them credit.
Yeah.
I've come around a little bit to the jersey. But you throw...
Do we need to be ultra critical here? Because I will say, 100 Thieves jersey, it's a big miss not making the cuffs white like the collar. That every time I look at it, I'm like, wait, we got a white collar, but not the white cuffs. That's a misstep, man. Take the cream sleeves, that's fine. Just cuff it white. It looks so much cleaner. But you have to look that hard at our jersey to find something that is maybe nitpicky, right? C9, what are you gonna have, like slap a default design from Puma out there, put it on Blabber and sell it?
No, come on. The Puma designs are good.
Okay. Yeah, very, very inspired design there. Very individual, very unique.
It's a tiger. It's neat. Pumas are cool.
I mean, the
I don't know.
C9
Keep
shoes
telling
are more
yourself that.
similar for the green wall than they are for Cloud9, but hey, I still like
Yeah,
them
I don't know why
nevertheless.
they made their
Wow,
shoe.
pretty
I don't know
true.
why they made their recent shoes like green. That one like really confuses me.
I'm not going to complain, Jack. I love you. Thank you for the shoes. They fit perfectly with an Optic jersey, I must say.
I don't think he intended that. You might want to walk that back a little bit.
I wear every team's merch. At the end of the day, I'm a shill for it. I'm the Jake Sucky of LoL esports, if you want to call it that.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go. You got your rival esports closet going.
That's not me bashing him, by the way. That's actually his Twitter handle for before anybody starts clipping and sending.
Yeah, right.
So, directing this towards the LCS, let's start with the team that I would argue expectations are a little bit muted from where they were about 7 days ago with 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to take for you guys to win this weekend, and how are you going to do it?
So you mean win the whole thing?
Yeah.
Because, well, the thing that it's going to take has already happened, and that is to lock in the lower bracket run, right? It's a cheat code. We all know this. No one needs to be taught. You fall to the lower bracket, it's an auto win. The thing is, yeah, I'm not going to dance around it, okay? We did not have a great past weekend. It wasn't as bad as everybody thinks, but I don't know what kind of like spells Cloud9 has put out on people, but they just happen to get everybody on their off week at every round of the playoffs. And let me tell you, you cannot keep that up. Just like it's hard to be good for a really long time, it's hard to be lucky for a really long time. So in my mind, this is already won. I'm not actually, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about the bot lane of evil geniuses, to come. So I won't like dive deeply into that conversation yet. Because obviously, that changed a whole lot. But C9, like, they're just not going to catch us all like in a haze like that. That was some days one bad week of the entire split, right? It's like the one like underperforming week. You're not going to get that twice from him, especially against the same team. This one's already won.
Wow.
Floor is yours.
Well, I mean, Berserker and Jensen have some things to say about that, and that they fucking crushed
8,000
it.
damage Jensen. My man straight up was the guy who did nothing for the group project but put his name on it in the end of that game 1.
Yeah, and he still got the A+.
Abadaga
That's all you need.
Abadaga did 32,000 damage in that game. Jensen did nothing except walk
And
into
yet
the base.
Abadaga lost.
Oh my goodness. Walk in the park, Jensen. My goodness.
8 worlds appearances.
He can walk
baby.
back off a team. He could not have a job again. How's that?
No, it's secured now. Look, he's
Good
crushing
enough
it.
that no one picked him up for a whole split, huh?
That's because he was too good and everyone was afraid of his power.
Man, I know you don't want me to pull up the list of LCS mid laners that had a job during that split while he didn't. It's not a pretty list for you.
Okay, maybe fair. But look, Jensen got his comeuppance though, because Bjergsen isn't going.
True.
He got
Hey,
his revenge.
And let me be honest. Look, I'm not actually a Jensen hater. All right, dude's good. He's legit. He's good. I'm gonna give him his flowers. He deserves it. I mean, all I'm saying is release the comms video if you haven't already. Cloud9, did you release the comms video so I can see who gets credit for that decision?
They did put the comms today, I think.
Oh, we gotta mine that. Figure out who was the one who made the call on that.
I think it
To
was
determine if Jensen gets his credit. You know.
I think maybe it was like I watched it today, but I wasn't really like super paying attention. I think it was maybe Jensen and Blabber saying that they could do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a Jensen hater. He's a good player. But yeah, they're just, Cloud9, kudos to them. They improved. They've been overachieving though. Clearly overachieving and at the same time getting everybody on and off. So, it's not like I think we're about to waltz in and 3-0 them, but it's, I just think if things play out the way they should, then it's an easy clap.
Any response from the boy wonder that is Jojo Pune?
Jojo Pion, he's been the one that's carrying us throughout the playoffs. I mean, granted, that was pretty a bad showing against 100 Thieves, but lower bracket buff is all we need. So he definitely is the centerpiece of what we have to rely on now going into this coming matchup, and it's always fun. Abadage has given him, such inspiration that he's now taken over the Azir play, and he looks much
I was gonna
better.
say he walked JoJo's dog when they played in the second round robin. So
we're not lacking in confidence. I think we can take advantage of this. It's particularly if someday, if this is not a fluke, someday not showing up again, that would be great for us because we would definitely have, our focus would be inspired JoJo and then play through top. Our bottom, it's been a weakness for us, the whole playoff. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not putting the blame on Danny, but certainly he doesn't look great. I think it's been very apparent, and now he's taking that time off, and so it gives us a little bit of understanding that it's been tough on the kid. But I'm not any less excited about Kaori. I think what he showed in Academy, he is one that, a lot of LCS teams I hear are like monitoring for next year, and I think he's ready. I mean, the guy has played in Worlds with Supermassive before. But you're right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think the 2020 or 2019. Remember those play-in stage. That's, when people don't watch, but play-in stage. But yeah, you watch the remarkable growth of JoJo, from a guy who, can think that he can cleanse a Malzahar's ult during MSI, and now to one who's still growing in talent, growing in knowledge. Watch out when he hits his power spike, when he hits his peak. I think we can pull off an upset. Or I am expecting at least one game. I'm not letting 100 Thieves sweep us. Because of JoJo.
Yeah, like I was saying in our own Discord is like I'm not sure why we're automatically just assuming that EG is worse with Kaorian because like I mean, again, no disrespect to Danny, right? But it looks like y'all were playing with about 60% of Danny, for the past couple of weeks, and you still beat Team Liquid. You know what I mean? Like are we sure that Kaori is going to be a definite downgrade compared to 60% Danny? I don't know. Surely when you're dealing with like peak potential and everything, yeah, you definitely would prefer to have Danny active in that situation. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a given. And JoJo has been the player that's driven me the craziest, maybe because he's been crowned so early without doing much at all. I mean, yes, you got a spring title, and that's good. Like that's super sick, good achievement, whatever. But I mean, you got like the dive was like he's already a top like 5 NA mid all time. Like they said that on the dive, you know what I mean? And it's like, are you sure about that? Because he's, been here for about a year. It just seems a little bit early, but I've had to admit, dude has popped off and has basically been solo carrying, though I wouldn't sell Impact short either. I'm glad we still have not even mentioned the presumptive MVP of the split, because that dude, I haven't seen him in a few weeks. But yeah, I think like Impact and JoJo are playing like super well. I think Impact is not getting near enough credit for what he's done.
I will ask this question about Jojo Pune specifically. Would you or would you not agree that he was the best performing player on Evil Geniuses at MSI this year?
MSI. Wow.
God, that feels so long ago. I don't even remember what happened in MSI.
General consensus is that he was.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd have to check him against Inspired, but like
pretty sure he would qualify as the most improved, but the best one I would say Inspired still.
It's hard to give it to a support in situations like that unfairly, So and yeah, Impact is kind of just like perma weak side kind of thing for the most part. So yeah, I mean it probably does go to JoJo. I know for sure that Danny did not look like NA Danny at MSI. You know what I mean? So whatever struggles he's had with the pressure or whatever, I'm sorry for him. He hasn't been able to be himself either at MSI or for these playoffs. But I think you're probably right, David.
I just see a lot of parallels in terms of like the overall growth of JoJo Pune to what we saw with Fudge back in 2020, where Fudge comes in, isn't playing great in spring, is memed on all during lock-in and for the most part the beginning of the year there. Cloud9 went to MSI 2020, correct? Or
yeah,
or 2021. Sorry.
It was whatever season I believe Perks was playing on. So I think 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Regardless, he comes in early, underperforms, goes to MSI, performs very well. Is the notable standout for Cloud9 and continues to build and build and build to the point where now Fudge has already built his name for himself. Is JoJo Pune not almost identically following that path, but with much less memeing early on?
That's where I disagree with you, because everybody gave JoJo his credit like before he was even an LCS player. It was like, oh no, this is the truth. This is the kid. This is the guy. Like it felt like everybody said that. And that's precisely why it's been difficult for me. And look, up to this point, I feel like maybe I was wrong about this, but at the same time, I think honestly that does align with Fudge. Everybody kind of just decided Fudge was the guy without Fudge doing much either. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like it feels slightly disrespectful to some of the legacies that these guys who have been in the league for basically 10 years have built, to just kind of be like crowning these new guys who like play okay one split and great another split. And then it's like, yep, they're the best. I just think we're rushing to it.
I think a problem is that the people on the analyst desk and the other people in sort of the media of the esports scene want to constantly be crowning sort of the next super genius player. So they're instead of like celebrating the geniuses that we have and like slowly building up the players as they're hitting those actual points, they're rushing it because it's like we need the next superstar now. So they have to start crowning these superstar players like way, way earlier than probably they should be like really calling.
Cosign. Vouch. The truth. Yes.
I'll agree and I'll disagree with that to a certain, as somebody who talks about this from a media, not pure media, but
He's
kind of
the
in that
man.
same.
He's the media.
He is the media. Get
You
him.
represent.
It's one of those things where, like, when you compare it to college football and going into pro, and you have these younger guys that we overhype to a certain extent of how they're going to do. We're talking about how they're going to play 3 to 4 years from now once they develop, once their offensive line is established and everything else there. But yet we have that same expectation for year one, no matter what. Like, you can't avoid that. Like, any rookie coming in, you're expecting them to carry you to the Super Bowl, especially with players doing it in shorter and shorter amounts of time. That timeline is sped up. Pretty much the same case here, where, yeah, nobody's expecting Jojo Pune to be the best mid laner the LCS has ever seen. But that expectation clearly has been rushed early. But the reality would say that'll be about 3 to 4 years from now when we can make that determination, and hopefully so.
Oh, I'm not disputing you on reality. In fact, I'm a big fan of reality, and that's why I have a problem. Because again, let me just point out for the second time, they said this guy is top 5 NA mid already.
Was that Cubby
Okay,
or was
so-
that everybody else?
No, that was on the dive. That was like
Okay.
Azale and Kobe and whatever. And to be fair, they may have said like if he plays one more year, but I think they specifically even said it doesn't really matter how well he does. You know, so it's just kind of crazy. All I'm saying is, let's not rush it. Good player, definitely overachieved, like expectations, I think. But because of what Havoc was saying, yeah, people just want to crown him like right away. And you know, you got to have something interesting to talk about. And if you're in NA, you got to have a hope, right? No one wants to be like, oh, well, we're NA, we're gonna lose at Worlds. We want to have like the new guy in the tubes, right? That's gonna carry us.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I get it. I get it. I'm just, you know, I just want us to calm down a little bit. Just like calming down.
I'm gonna take us in the opposite direction of calm with the next question in regards to hype to
perfect.
Cloud9. I think it's probably gonna be a pretty decided fact by the time the weekend is done that there will be more Cloud9 fans in attendance in Chicago than both of the other teams combined. That's been historically the case dating back to 2019, which was the only event that I went to. So you already have a heavy advantage coming in. Do you think the crowd buff is going to help you, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think having sort of a crowd kind of quote unquote home team advantage is, I think it's definitely good, but I don't think it's as beneficial, at least for esports. Just because, you know, they're wearing like the noise canceling headphones and everything to like really reduce the noise and everything. I will say, like, having to perform in front of a lot of people is really stressful. I think it may give some of the players like the opposite effect, because, you know, if you have like a majority of the fans in the stadium Cloud9 fans, you don't want to disappoint the fans, right? So like, I think that's extra pressure on you to perform. So that can actually maybe work against your team, at least for this typical sport. Like, I think if like for football, it would help because everyone's making so much noise you can't hear the play, right? But for esports, I think it's kind of different. I think there's a different atmosphere and a different effect that it has than different sports.
I think we should definitely check in with the EG side of things after how Houston went for them this year. Because, like, yeah, they entered Houston with, like, you know, 5 people in the crowd cheering for them. And then on Sunday, they had like 99.9% of the crowd cheering for them. Everybody suddenly jumped on the EG bandwagon. And they had like an insane amount of support out of nowhere. So, yeah, you can talk to us about how much you think that helped you guys. It's kind of weird, you know, to see how everything played out with Danny, especially like, you know, to see them get white hot, lightning in a bottle, just run over everybody with the crowd behind them in spring.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. All I know is we're gonna have the least cheers.
I mean, I think it's hype, especially for the young players like Danny and Jojo. And this is like they have to frequently, constantly mention this is the first time they played in front of a crowd. and that how oh my gosh, I do love the Houston vibe there. We just absorb all the C9 and TL fans who were present there, right? But I think it helped for certain players. They really feel the energy and they get motivated or like push, maybe not so much motivated, but really help them feel good about themselves every time they make a play. They can hear it through their comps. I mean, it's crazy that I can hear it through the broadcast. I wasn't even there, and the energy was so tangible. So I don't downplay the effects of the crowd noise and energy level. And I think on C9, who would be for how many of their players have actually played in front of crowds? Jensen, I know.
Jensen has pretty much everyone except I guess Berserker has never really played in front of a huge stadium before. Everyone else has had experience.
So
So I think from that mental aspect, I think everyone is pretty prepared except maybe Berserker. But I think Berserker is he seems pretty chill with high stake situations because he didn't really falter that much at all throughout playoffs. So I think that's maybe at least a good indication that he won't have a really big, oopsie. At least hopefully.
Not a lot of variance.
Yeah.
I will also note, Fudge has also never played in front of a crowd like this. And I mean this in the sense that 2021 Spring Finals was set up in a kind of cone style, where the players have their backs kind of just set by a wall, and you're just looking out at everything in front of you. This will be the first finals that Fudge has played in a full circle arena. So there's no safety, there's nothing behind you, which does have it's small, but there's a small mental difference between the two.
Well, how was the playoffs when he played in OCE? Because he's been in he's been in I think a couple of championship teams in OCE before he moved on to play in NA.
I highly doubt in a stadium like this.
That's fair. I could imagine them playing in a much smaller venue. I was just curious because it's not like Fudge doesn't have on-stage experience for playing in a championship.
For the 100 Thieves guys, the first time that they've ever played in front of a massive crowd, it did not go well. The whole team kind of seemed off. Are you worried that there is a potential mental block when it comes to playing in front of a crowd? And also notably, as you said, a crowd that likely is not going to be in your favor at any point during the weekend.
I'm not. I'm a believer in two things. One is that I think good players learn from their mistakes and they learn from what happened, right? Like before we went to Worlds last year, I was like, hey, this Worlds is going to suck for us because everybody has to go to Worlds and suck once, and then try two is where you really see what you're made of. I'm a big proponent of that. No joke, we got blown out of the water in spring. I don't think really the crowd had anything to do with that. I think EG was just at their absolute peak power, and I just don't think that there was anybody in the LCS who could have stopped them at that point. So I don't really chalk it up to being a crowd thing. So I think the other thing I believe in is that our guys like to have a chip on their shoulder, right? I think we've seen that borne out pretty well, where a little bit of corkboard material is good for them. If they don't feel like they're getting the respect, they don't feel like they're getting the fan support, they play a little angry, and that tends to be a good thing. So,
they're like the Hulk.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't like Closer when he's angry. I think if we lose in either round, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, the crowd made him jitter, and be like, nope, we just didn't play again. Yep, we're in a bad state right now. You can't dance around those things. I don't think the crowd's really going to have material impact, at least in the negative direction for our guys at all.
And to Cole's point, I think this is the perfect, I guess, situation for 100 Thieves. Every time we doubt them, every time we wonder, are they good enough? They hit their peak? They just showed up when they're doubted against. I mean, that showed up. Abadagia got very angry of being called one of the worst mid laner early in the summer, right? And that was when that kind of snowballed, and they got angry. You guys should be green.
That was High saying it to his face, man. Gosh, what an awkward interview that was. Holy crap.
It did not hold any punches. Any final words on that before I move on to the next question?
Just that like even though I'm saying crowd support like won't be a material factor, I don't think for our guys. It's like it does kind of it can cause a little pain in my heart when I hear that our crowd is always quiet, you know? And I don't know what it is, but I just want us to have some loud fans there for once. And I wish I could do it myself, but I won't actually be up there. I'm going to Chicago like 2 weeks later for something different. And I couldn't swing it with work and everything. But the good news is I'll be at World semifinals in Atlanta, so I'll get to cheer for my boys.
So follow up on that for all three of you. Let's be honest. Chants in esports, not great. There's not many that have it down packed to the point where like it's a good one. The Call of Duty crowds I think have it the best because they come up with something on the moment. I know Cole probably knows this, but the "fuck you, Standy" chants from the New York Major, which I was a part of, must say, absolute blast. And I did it right in front of his mom too, which I didn't realize. So,
Oh, yikes.
yeah, you live and you learn. But Call of Duty has always had some great chants. Is there any inspiration the three of you have? Like, give me one chant that is better than "Let's go Thieves,"
Let's go,
"Let's go
Blank.
EG."
Let's go, Blake.
Well,
Let's
let's
go
go C9
see.
fits like syllabically. So it kind of fits. It fits the rhythm.
It
really
does, but
well.
come on, it's so basic.
That's
Give me
no-
give me
It's
something.
very basic. I know. I can't argue with that. It is a very basic cheer.
Yeah. I think it says something, by the way, that like the most famous like NA origin chant is TSM.
Yep.
TSM, right? That's all we got, really.
That's
We
all,
don't have any
yeah.
like songs or anything. We don't have anything. Look, we can draw inspiration from the Call of Duty crowd. World champions, by the way. Shout out World champions, LA Thieves. We can bring the Run It Up from there, right? Run It Up, always good with a Thief crowd. But then also, I'm a big proponent of 100 what, 100 Thieves. 100 what, 100 Thieves.
That's a good one.
I'm a big proponent of that. Jordan and I, we solo got that going when we visited LCS. I think it was 2019 spring, but there weren't many people in the crowd, so
If you want to steal
gotta
from
proliferate a little
TSM,
more.
you could always do FBI open up, FBI open up,
Hey, there we go.
or
There we go.
one from football that most people have had, which I can't believe this was never done for Hooney in the years that he played in a stadium. When he makes a great play, you either go he and like you get it like that, or you just make it sound like a boo, but you're yelling who the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Are they booing me? No, they're saying
no,
boo
they're
words. Boo
Well,
words.
maybe in our case that'll work. They're booing me. Okay, I'm gonna go off.
Anything's better than EG hoo-ha.
I did come up with a cheer that I really did try to do, and it was basically the whole cheer is basically like me doing the whole like give me a C, give me an L, and so it'd spell out cloud and like what cloud are we on, and then everyone would be like Cloud9, who's gonna win? Cloud9, who's the best? Cloud9, and then everyone would cheer. But that's a little too involved and that's kind of long.
That is a perfect student section at a high school game
No, it's
cheer.
very like students. It's very like
Yeah.
football gamey, but like.
But we're gonna
I'm
have
from the
student
South.
sections.
All we know is college football.
We are
So-
going to have student sections at this finals. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement, but each team is going to have a section in the stands dedicated just to them.
Oh hell yeah!
Cool. So, if there was ever
So
a
we-
time,
Yeah, deploy your charisma there, Havoc.
Yes.
just saying it could work. Gotta think of something. Gotta come in pre-planned. Can't just wing it in the moment unless somebody really does something interesting and you can go with it. But I don't trust League fans to know how to do
No.
that versus
No.
COD fans.
Exactly. No, never trust League fans with virtually anything. You're right.
Oh, God. So, I want you all to give me one player from each of the other teams that scares you the most, scares you the least.
I'll start since we're likely the biggest underdog. scares me the most from 100 Thieves. It's closer, especially if you give him Lee Sin, right? Just the guy can turn it on, and just if he shows up better than Inspired, because right now I think our chances lies on Inspired and JoJo being able to carry the team and do it well. Closer has been really scary. He's scarier than FBI. He's scarier than Someday at Someday's peak. I think he scares me the most. Least scary on 100 Thieves would probably be Huhi. I, just, I don't know if I like.
Who
You
is
know.
he?
He's the guy finding a 4-man flank on you with his Amumu. That's who he is. Gosh, show some respect for a legend. Yikes.
Guy who can't make it as an ADC and has to, scurry to the support. Yeah.
Oh, that would be Sven. You're thinking of Sven.
And he's the best now.
I just realized that both C9 and 100 Thieves had that going for them. A former ADC going support. I got that right? Who he was an ADC?
He's a mid laner.
No, who-
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
He was
like
the mid laner for CLG, and he played.
Okay.
I believe he was, in fact, the best Aurelion Soul player in the entire world.
Oh yeah, uncontested.
Probably was, yeah.
Uncontested.
I mean, how many Aurelion Soul main do they have?
One, but that's the point. Doesn't
That
matter.
still counts.
All right.
Good enough to play it on stage.
Exactly.
Thieves, I think. I mean,
back on his name.
all right, C9. I mean, hands down, it's Berserker. The guy just destroyed us. I don't even have anything to say. He single-handedly made it hard for our team to do anything because he's so good on the Zeri. He's so good on the Sivir. Least scary? Sven, with your support. I think he got. It's really unfair to say. He played well, but I think he got more lucky in that series against us more than anything. He played just enough to make, to give Berserker whatever he needs.
Well, I think in Sven's defense, this is his first split playing support, but he's doing it at such a high level for only a very little time of practice. But I think even now, him and Berserker look like such an amazing bot duo. You have to give him his props in how
I'm
he's
not
been
taking
playing.
anything away. They beat us 3-1 with a makeshift support, and that's giving him credit. But if you have to say relative to all 5 players, he's probably the one that I'm least.
No, true. No, that's fair. That's fair. Oh yeah, right. My turn. I think from 100 Thieves, I definitely have to say Closer, because Closer's really similar to Blabber in terms of playstyle, and he can make some really nutty things happen, especially if you give him like a comfort champ. So I think that definitely he scares me the most. I think in terms of who I'm scared of the least, I think I'm actually not really that afraid of Abadage, because I think Jensen's been playing really well. And so this is a very bot-centric meta. Just hear me out. This is a very bot-centric meta. FEI and Huki have looked not only really good, but they've been playing really, really well. And I think that they've been getting a lot more resources than Abba lately. And so since all the resources are being more shifted towards the bot lane, we're not going to have to worry about Abba as much in the Jensen-Abadage matchup.
Tell me you haven't watched the matches without telling me you haven't watched the matches. My goodness. Disrespectful. I'll let you do your EG piece before I rebut this.
In terms of EG, I'm probably... Who am I scared of the most for EG? I'm probably scared of JoJo the most, because JoJo's insane. And he plays really well, and he really elevates the team and can just hard carry. As far as who I'm not that scared of on Evil Geniuses, I guess Vulcan. And I only say that because Vulcan, he was on C9. Sven knows how Vulcan plays. So I think that at least from a bot lane perspective, we're very prepared in how he performs because we have insider knowledge on how what he wants to do, right? So we kind of know what he's gonna want to go for and everything. So the team is a little bit prepared for if they want to do like an engage or something. So that's what that's what I think.
All right. So I guess that means it's my turn. So who am I most scared of? No one. Why would I be scared of a single player on either of these
That's
teams?
like a cop out answer. Boo.
That's the cop out answer.
Boo.
Okay. Then default to whatever best player on the team is.
Yes.
Like, man,
Go with
gosh,
the
haven't you guys been
group.
doing this podcast for like 5 years and you're
I
still at
think
that?
it's more than that.
Oh my gosh. All right. So
Look,
you want
I'm
me to
afraid of
actually answer the question?
confrontation.
I can. Well, I'm not. 100 Thieves are not. Look, I'll answer the question. Who am I most afraid of on Evil Geniuses? That would be JoJo. Regrettably, I have to begrudgingly admit that is JoJo. Just because he seems to be like, you know, the turbocharger in the engine right now. Beginning of the split, I wouldn't have said this, but you know, I just have to come down on JoJo's side for this. That dude has massive takeover potential even when he's behind. So that's gonna be someone we'll have to pay attention to. Least afraid of on EG, that is the easiest question in the world, and that would be the man who started a charity to help other teams burn down objectives faster with his early smites and Inspired. Forgot how to do that. So he's actually like a help, not a hindrance to us. I'm not scared of that guy at all. I don't recognize him. It's just it's just weird what's going on with Inspired. Literally not even noticing him play at this point.
But true.
On the C9 side, if you don't say Berserker, you're insane. But maybe, just maybe, we just full commit to not letting Zeri be there and just like, look, ban it every time. There will be no Berserker Zeri. And if that's the case, maybe the answer changes. I don't know. But as of right now, if you're not saying Berserker, you're not watching. It's an ADC meta right now. He is virtually impossible to kill and pumps out an incredible amount of damage. And if he has...
He's sorry to cut you off. I just want to say
No, please.
He just does things that I haven't seen a lot of AD carries in at least in NA do. Like his sense of like spacing and when to actually get aggressive and fight is just insane because I think he takes more risk and he takes more fights that a lot of ADCs I think back off from, especially in playoffs when you're like not wanting to make a mistake. So he just goes.
That's the thing. If he's on a movement champion, it's like, oh yeah, it's like game over.
No, yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know, so we have to prepare something for that. But as far as who I'm not afraid of on C9, that would be Fudge, because what is he gonna do against Some Daddy? He can talk about having his counters ready all he wants. Some Daddy, lower bracket buff, best season he's ever had for 100 Thieves. Like, you think you're gonna get the best of him in 2 separate series? That will not happen. It just won't. So if C9 wins against us, they're gonna be winning in spite of Fudge, not because of Fudge. You can just cross them off right now.
I'm proud of Nobody for picking the low-hanging fruit that was Kaori. I was ready to rebuttal his son. I was ready to moderate the shit out of that one.
No, I have like I said earlier, I have a medium amount of, fear against Kaori because he's an unknown quality. Who knows? Maybe this guy is like the Jeremy Lin. He's gonna come in out of nowhere and just take over, right?
I mean, he plays the meta. He plays the meta picks, and he plays them very well. It's like, I'm not saying similar to what you said. No disrespect to Danny at all. The 60% analogy, I think, is fair. If this guy's coming in at 100% or even 80 of what his full potential is, and he's playing picks like the Callista, the Draven, he can play Zeri, he can play Sivir. Shit.
Yeah.
That's not something to look at slightly.
Plus, honestly, it's like having an unknown quantity can be a benefit, because it like throws a wrench into your prep for the team. You know what I mean? So I genuinely don't think he's like gonna automatically be this liability. He would have to have the most like poop his pants weekend ever for him to truly be like, you know, a real significant downgrade based on how EG has played the last couple. You know, again, I won't argue about deviation from EG's peak because that's not where we are right now.
Ooh.
But just as presently constituted, I just don't believe he's automatically going to be like this huge downgrade.
It's actually kind of funny because Frozen and I were talking on the podcast we were recording today, and we had similar points where Kaori is kind of an unknown, so it makes it difficult to kind of prep because you don't know exactly how him and Vulcan are going to interact and do things, and they may do things completely differently from how Danny and Vulcan would kind of approach a lane or approach the mid and late game.
Yeah. Well, I will say, you know, shout out to 100 Thieves staff because we have, you know, a top level staff to prepare for things like that between, you know,
But are you powered by Microsoft?
That's true. We may not be tracking support CSD, so we may
That's an
have to give
important
Cloud9 a
statistic.
call before the EG series. Yeah, to get that sorted out. Like maybe Tim can import that into Oracle's Elixir for us or whatever. But yeah, I just think we have a top-notch staff for things like that. You know, so that's just another facet of it. You're talking about getting the best of 100 Thieves like twice, like with the staff we have too. Like not just with the players, but with the staff. It's a tall order, you know. So they definitely make me feel more confident.
So it's been about 45 minutes. I think I have one more question for you guys, and I don't want to hold you up too long tonight. You're not allowed to give me the reason for your own team. You have to say it for the other two. Why are the other two teams getting out of groups at Worlds?
That is a big ask for EG right now.
You're getting Danny back. You'll be fine.
No, look, I don't think you will. That's the thing. This is
I
not
don't
the
think
kind
so
of
either.
announcement. Yeah, this is not the kind of announcement that you make if your player is coming back in a month. I would be shocked if Danny's back. So I don't think you have him. I think EG, the way that you get out of groups, I don't even think there's a fortunate group draw, you know, and play-ins are going to be harder this year too. So, you know, it's virtually an impossible question, I think, for EG. So if you're asking like how do you get out, it has to be Inspired rights the ship. Like there's no other way. Inspired has to get back to his old ways and still not lose anything from JoJo, you know, and not lose anything from Impact, who again, I will say, I think Impact's play for the playoffs is being very underrated right now. So I don't want that to go underreported. But if everything holds and Inspired can come back to life, that's like the only shot. But I think it's so slim for EG. Anybody in the 3 seed especially, it's going to be crazy.
Scary. But yeah. What about C9? You would have to talk about both teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if we were gonna talk team first. Or
I want the full-on hopium take. I want like the goal for this year, for me, is to make sure that everybody's cheering for all LCS teams. That we get some North American pride, which has been significantly lacking for years now.
That's why I like you so much.
So I need you to give me the angles on how we get that. How do we get people riled up in the stands? Who we cheering for? How's it gonna happen? I'll lose my voice doing it, but you give me the pathway.
All right. So can't talk about because I thought this was a good year for LCS to be preparing themselves, and hopefully we elevated our play enough to know like how to prepare for international competition. But I think this is 100 Thieves. Reaper, still love them, man. He knows the competition, and second time you're getting 100 Thieves around, they are less jittery about the whole being in the spotlight, being at Worlds. I think they have a great chance of moving out of groups. Maybe it'll be easier if they fall into the group of life, but even if they get a tough draw, I still think that they are better motivated, better prepared, and they'll come together. So the whole nervousness or not knowing how to mentally prepared. Because I think that's the big thing for me. I think it's the mental piece has been always been for LCS. They look down at them, like the whole world looks down at them. They convince themselves they're just happy to be there, right? Not this year. I mean, we know we are hungrier, and we're making that effort. And 100 Thieves is the team that it's coming back with the same players. So what's going to catch them by surprise? I think they are more ready this year to show off what they can accomplish.
Yeah, I know we're making each other's case, but I just want to validate that from a 100 Thieves fan perspective, because you could tell the guys felt like they really left something on the table last year, especially because of that SKT, or I should say T1 game where we just couldn't press R, for a really long time, and we might have been able to swing that game, and then we like thunderclapped EDG in a game that they were just playing for seeding. At that point, we were already eliminated, but still, it was not even close. It was just an absolute blowout. And I think that getting that win for them made them believe in themselves in a way where it's like, man, we really lost this opportunity that we had, and it made them hungry to get it back. So I just wanted to validate that perspective. I think that's exactly where the guys' minds are at.
Yeah, I think 100%. 100 Thieves feel hungry for it. I think 100 Thieves has, I think, historically been an org that has been hungry for the accolades, and they've put in, like, you can tell, like, they put in so much effort in building their roster, training their roster, and getting coaches and a staff to make that roster really strong. And you can tell their work has finally paid off. I mean, they've won some. I think they've won like a championship or two. They're going to they're going to Worlds. And I think that they're hungry for it. And I think the hunger definitely makes them try a lot harder, and it definitely gives them a drive that I don't think a lot of other teams kind of have.
Yeah. We didn't make C9's case, by the way.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do that. So I think, again, I don't know. I'm not a patch notes guy. So for people who are listening to this that aren't familiar with our podcast, Jordan, who's not here tonight, sorry about that, he couldn't make it. But Jordan and I are idiots about League of Legends. We don't follow the patch notes. We don't know like the nitty gritty about items or the runes or whatever. We kind of just watch and make general observations and stuff more than anything else. But I don't know if this meta is going to hold going into Worlds. And one of the key things for C9, in my opinion, is that this bot lane meta needs to carry over for them to really pop off. You obviously want all the chips behind your highest ceiling player. And for me, that's Berserker, right? So they need that meta to hold in order for the takeover to really be possible. Because those kind of fights, those like kiting Zeri fights, those are fights you can win from behind.
No, yeah, for sure. And you can trust Berserker to win those fights.
Yeah, just keep people off of him, right? Like as long as they don't actually get on top of him, then he can make those miracles happen. Fudge, I think, will be the other key piece, because like I think Fudge is probably a little like overrated by the community because he's a great personality for the league, and he is sometimes really great at things like counterpicking. Like he has this good reputation for counterpicking. And sometimes it really doesn't work at all and no one ever talks about it. So Fudge needs to really be on top of his game. And I think if those two pieces are in place, that's like, the hope, the hopium angle for C9. I don't know. The group draws, I think like someone calculated it out, like because of the seeding changes, there's virtually no variance in in like how the groups actually play out. So we'll know almost everything about who will be playing when those seed draws or when we place, excuse me, and we know what seeds we are. It's going to be a super tough year, like no matter what angle you look at it. So I'm all for NA with you, David. Like I want us to whoever the team is that's representing us, like at the moment. Like, let's go, rah rah. Proud to be American, right? But yeah, it's a tall order. Definitely gonna be a tall order this year.
It's always going to be a tall order. I mean, our expectation should be to get a single team out of groups. That's where they should be because we have 4 Chinese teams, assuming everything goes as planned in play-in stage, and one of the EU teams gets out and NA gets out as well. We'll have a Chinese team in every group, a Korean team in every group, and likely a European team group or European team in every group.
Yeah,
Which
it's just
not as worried about Europe at the moment, but that's a separate point as long as you don't get G2. Look, we are counted out every fucking year. I remember last year whenever everybody was making their tier list, it was LS, Dom, Double. Everybody put China and Korea above everybody else and said NA doesn't have a chance. And granted, we hadn't made it out of groups in the past 2 years. Fine. But once again, as always, things never go as expected. And this will be the first time since 2016 that we have had some sort of influence on the crowd and the possible results that can come in. Not saying that we can give a mental edge to our players, but if there's one thing that I know about a New York crowd is that we can throw teams off of their game. And I'm not sure how well the League of Legends fan base, let alone Chinese or Korean players, are going to handle very obnoxious booing of themselves. So, believe me, I don't give a shit what your opinion of me is after this, but I'm going to be booing the shit out of Faker when he gets on stage. I don't give a fuck what your legacy is. I don't care.
Faker. He's gonna get booed.
No, it doesn't matter. When an NA team is on stage against Faker, Faker is the mortal enemy. That's all that matters. We are there to win the
agree
game.
with you.
Love it.
So fuck it. We have nothing to lose. Go in, play your ass off. If we make it out, great. If not, we enjoyed the ride while we were going. That's all that matters.
we're getting crazy jingoistic here. This is
I
good.
will pump hopium into your veins for the next 4 weeks. I promise you.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I'm always with you. We've done historically we've done Diary of an NA Fan as our like different podcast series during Worlds. You know, we're coming from it from that perspective also. So, yeah, let's do it. I'll be wearing some American flag underwear, you know, all through the Worlds run. Probably same pair. Don't even change it for good luck. You know.
Oh,
You gotta keep that juju going.
speaking of that, if anybody from the LCS for some reason sees this, and I might put this on TikTok, please release an LCS jacket with all 3 teams' logos on it and possibly the flags of all of the players from all 15 players in the nations that they're from on the back. Do you have any idea how well that would sell?
Oh,
In
that
addition to
sells so
unifying
well.
everybody?
That's like the take my money meme right there.
China gets done with their regional qualifier, and they have all 4 teams standing on stage with one unified Nike jacket. They all have their jerseys underneath, but it's one unified jacket. China's coming in as a unit. We need to do the same. We are North American teams. We're going to be proud of it, and we're going to win and lose as a region. Have some merch to go with it.
Let's go. I support. I will commit my money now. I'm sending my PayPal login information to the chat to make sure everybody who's listening can get a piece of this alleged gear that will come out. Can't wait.
I wish. Any departing words, guys? Thank you all so much, by the way, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking your time.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man, this has been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We always so again, you're uniting the NA clans here with this, you know. So we appreciate your role in being the general here for us. Parting words are, EG, so sad for you about the Danny situation. I'm glad they're handling it, you know, in the right way. I don't see how you could criticize EG as for how they've handled this. So shout out to them. That's great. I'm sorry that that's happened. We were going to beat you anyway, so I'm sure it's not really going to make much difference in the end. So good luck in plans. Cloud9, I see Jack in the chat. Jack, hats off to you for your record of being a top org always. Again, I'm sorry to deny you a title. We've done it a few times here recently. That pattern will not change. I look forward to the celebration stream on Sunday. Should be good.
I just want to say, let's go C9. Let's get another nice trophy for our trophy case. First NA championship, then the world.
Oh man, thank you guys again. Thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you to Jack and Karen Moser, who's been in there the entire
Kelsey,
time.
yeah,
Or
Kelsey's
Kelsey,
been.
thank you. I couldn't remember her first name. I'm so sorry.
It's her
Kelsey.
fault. It's her fault.
Don't know what to say. This has been great. Thank you all.
Yeah.
We'll catch you later.
Let's do it again. Let's make sure we do it again.
I'm down to do it again before Worlds comes. If you need, believe me, I can make you feel like you're gonna be ready to run through a brick wall. It can happen.
Right. Juice me up.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Adios.
Live
All
evil.
right. Take care, everyone.
Later.
Thanks for watching.
All right. The stream